Alright, shalom. Kim, I like to say Kal Halayim, Wahawadlah, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash. Right, I say Brakatatiyam. Peace and blessings. The double honors the apostles and elders of you well. Peace and blessings to the Akim on the world that push this truth to the four corners of the earth. Right, day in and day out. God, that is one of the biggest jobs in this time. Right, to push this word. Right, I entitled this Obey Them That Have the Rule Over You. Because really and truly, have a reason why these men were set up, right? Have a good reason why these men were set up. And it's not to say, well, men, Israel naturally rebellious. When that men actually, telling them to do certain things that are good for them or right for them, the first thing is going to jump up and say like, like, the no Lord, use not my Lord, my Lord, whatever, use not Mashiach, or, I's not a man pleaser, whatever the case may be, right? But these men were actually set up for the purpose of what guiding the sheep, are keeping everything to establish order and to make sure everything is done a particular way. You understand? Because Israel on the whole is a rebellious nation, right? Israel actually have a particular part in the gene that just rebellious. No matter how much you try to fight it, even as a man in the truth, you just find yourself, being victim to that rebel gene sometimes, because that just in Israel to just be rebellious. It will vary from brother to brother about what your spirit might have to be riffing against, but the nation itself naturally rebellious, right? And that is why it had men set up to guide the sheep accordingly, to make sure that men do what they're supposed to do. You understand? I'll bring that first. I'll bring that in Deuteronomy 1. Deuteronomy 1, start from 15, right? It says, So I took the chief of your tribes, wise men and known, and made them heads over you, captains over thousands, and captains over hundreds, and captains over fifties, and captains over tens, and captains over tens, and officers among your tribes. So our order was set up even back in the time of Moses. Moses was the highest, on earth, right? But at a point in time, but it had other men who was below Moses that would do things, that would make judgment and judge certain matters, make sure that men doing what they're supposed to do, and if they're not doing what they're supposed to do, they would be able to resolve it according to the word, right, as they were taught. But that is one of the reasons why these men were set up, was to guide the sheep. Because if you don't have any order, what has happened? Like, say for example, in this society, you'll see that it have people who just keep order, like police officers and defense force and so on. If it had no order, if it had none of these men to actually keep order, if somebody break into your house, they go come and arrest them, or whatever the case may be. If it didn't have them, how would it be? It would be chaotic. Everybody would be doing what it is they want. And that is something that Israel love. 2/3 of Israel, they love that. And even the 1/3, they sometimes had to be striving against that because of the rebelliousness in them. But that what 2/3 of Israel love. They don't like to be told what to do. They love to do their own thing according to their own desire or their own pleasure, right? And it's not like that. When you're in the truth, you understand that you have to do things according to the Lord's will. Even when you're praying that way, it said, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. It's not about your will, it's about the Lord's will. But that is not 2/3 of Israel. They like to do things their way, how they see it fit. And they don't like correction. They don't like anybody telling them, you're not supposed to do this, do it this way, don't do it that way. They don't like that, right? It say, verse 16, it say, and I charged your judges at that time, right, saying, hear the cause between your brethren, and judge righteously between every man and his brother, and the stranger that is with him. And that next thing that has come with order, because order is what is gave the authority to be able to judge a situation. Because let me say, for example, how it will have an elder and it will have somebody lower. The elder could be able to judge the matter the lower, and things will be established because he has more authority. If everybody was on the same authority level, nobody have any reason to listen to anybody. That is another reason why authority levels were set up. And if you didn't use to hearken onto the authority, it would have problems. right? There are different reasons why the Lord set things up like order, right? It was to like leaders to keep order, right? It was to keep order and to make sure that everything goes how it's supposed to go, because sometimes men just falter, especially the lower ones, in terms of like the ones weaker in spirit. Okay, we have brothers who will be high up and they might be stronger in spirit, and they have brothers who will be lower down and they'll be weaker in spirit. You understand? And when they're not doing what they're supposed to do, the ones higher up have to make sure that they stay in order. Or even if it's one high up who erring, it would have men within the midst of his level that would keep him in order. Everything is about order, right? Scriptures say what? Let everything be done in decency, decently and in order. Just paraphrasing, right? The word in Hebrews. I'll start from 7, right? I'll read verse 7. It says, Hebrews 13, verse 7. It says, remember them which have the rule over you, who have spoken unto you the word of Yahweh, which Yahweh is the Most High's name in Hebrew, and Yahweh Shai is his son's name in Hebrew, right? So you got to remember them, right? It say whose faith follow, considering the end of their conversation, because them is ready a guide, right? Even on earth here, you know, whenever it is you want to understand right from wrong in terms of like certain experiences, you'll look to your guide. You'll look to the person that, you know, who teach you the truth. You'll be watching him, because you saw certain things you might even understand in the truth, or how to go about it, whatever the case may be. And who it is you will look to or seek to for more clarity on how to go about things. You will look to your elder, right? The ones that bear rule. That scripture even talk about what? Being a light. And we's not just a light onto the world, we's also a light unto the brethren. The higher ones supposed to be a light unto the lower ones, so they will know how to go about doing things until eventually they reach that stature. They mightn't reach that stature in rank, but they'll reach that stature in spirit, whereas they'll be, you know, more groomed and more firm, because they walk in the right way, because they have the right examples, which are the leaders, right? I read verse 17. It say, obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves. You understand? It says submit yourselves unto them. So you can't have the mindset where, you know, I's not a man pleaser. No man can tell me what to do. It doesn't work like that. No, that also mean that elder can't be like, you know, okay, what's going on? I say elder, so he had that attitude where, yeah, well, feed them for some burgers and run down the road and buy some burgers man, with your money. You know, he can't want to play like he want to abuse it and go on like, you know, everything he want to, I don't like that shoes you're wearing, you know. Nothing wrong with the shoes, you know. That, you know, he just because he don't like that shoes, you can't wear that. No, it's not like he's your wife. It's not like he's your husband. You understand? It's not like that. Cause I just always say, like for me personally, I just say I don't like Jordans. I hate Jordans. I find it overrated and overpriced. You understand? But I wouldn't tell another brother, hey, you shouldn't wear Jordans just because I don't like it. You understand? You gotta make judgment according to the scriptures. If the brother doing something off as somebody over him, you tell him, hey, that we're doing, you shouldn't be doing that because it's against the scriptures. But if it's not against the scriptures and it's not doing any harm, leave him alone. You understand? And that is how judgment supposed, you know, that's the idea how judgment is supposed to be brought across. It's not something to abuse, but and at the same time, as one who following, if the person over here instructing you on righteousness, you should hearken unto them. Because they seeking after your best interests. It's not about just feeling like they could tell you what to do. They're actually looking out for you. You understand? I read it over. It say, obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls. And that is really what they're concerned about. They want to make sure that you don't go off, or you don't get caught up in the things of the world. That is why they'll be instructing you on these things. To make sure you stay in the spirit, they'll tell you make sure you do your videos. And not just because they want to tell you something, they want you to stay in the spirit, the way to do the work. Scripture say feed the sheep. All is a part of your work. You understand? And that is how the rulers over you will make judgment. And when you're not doing these things, they will have punishment in place. Because I was telling somebody the other day, I said have a reason why the Lord create blessings and curses. You understand? Because without punishment, Jake, just don't freaking listen. Jake, don't listen unless it has some kind of punishment put in place. So that, you understand, it had to have a benefit if you do good. But if you want to play mad and you ain't want to do good, you got to suffer something. That is just how it is. Right? Right. It say 40, watch for your souls, as they that must give accounts, that they may do it with joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you. Right? So the understand, for me also ask them, that brother is a good brother. That brother is doing work. You understand? He's a good brother. He has look out for men. You understand? That the kind of record that you want to have, not only before angels, but also before men and before your elders. You understand? That brother was a good brother. And all I go back to what, learning to take instruction. If you had an attitude where you didn't want nobody tell you to do nothing, you want to do whatever you want to do, you'll be in the spirit of these guys who we go and jump to now. And the scriptures say what? It say, for that is unprofitable unto you. That is unprofitable for you. And not profitable for you to be like that. Okay, the scriptures talk about a man who hate correction. They say correction is grievous unto him that departed from wisdom. Just paraphrasing. It's grievous unto men who don't have understanding. The scripture even talk about seeking wise counsel. It's not just about doing whatever you feel like doing, how you feel like doing it. There are men who will seek elders to be able to see, well, this what I'm doing here, is this correct according to the scriptures? Is this wrong? You understand? You have to learn to listen to men. It's not just about what you want to do. You have to learn to listen. You have to be able to understand that everything is about guidance. And what does make Jake so much hypocrites is because in this system, when they go somewhere, if they go to school, if they go to some university or wherever it is to go in a studying something or wherever, they will always have a guide. Even if the guide mightn't be in front of your face, they will always have a guide. The guide could be a guy talking in a YouTube video, and they will follow what he says. That is the guide. Because at the end of the day, you must learn from somebody. You didn't just wake up and like, oh shit, Genesis, that is what happened. You understand? It must have somebody that instruct you on it. But Jake does want to get on like, nobody mustn't tell them nothing, but only the truth. When it is there in the world, and the prophets are telling you that this equals this, and man came from 5 billion, they doesn't want to rebel against that. It's only when it's actually to do what the Lord tell them to do, they just want to find all kind of problems and errors in what it is you're telling them. But if you was telling them some kind of foolishness in the world, they would go along with it and they would be at peace with it. Because that's the rebelliousness of Jake. They're always rebelling against the scriptures. It said in Numbers 26, I'll start from 9. They say, and the sons of Eliab, Nemuel, and Dathan, and Abiram. It said, this is that Dathan and Abiram, which were famous in the congregation, who strove against Moses and against Aaron in the company of Korah. It say when they strove against the Lord. And they strove against the Lord. Why? Because the Lord put Moses and Aaron over them. Moses in particular, but Aaron was also the high priest. And the high priest had plenty of authority too. He could tell you certain things and you had to do it. You understand? Because they were the guides unto the people. So by doing that, you did strive against the Lord, because the Lord set them up to guide you. Right? You see what happened with Moses and Miriam and Aaron, and Miriam get leprosy. Why? Because they were striving against Moses. That plenty many in the scriptures gave you proof for Moses' sake. You understand? And it's the same thing, because remember, as men of the Lord, if we really believe that we as men of the Lord, these prophets of the Lord, and the Lord actually given us instruction to give the people. If it is you striving against your elder, and the Lord is the one that given the elder the knowledge to tell you, well, that we're doing, just watch yourself, take it down a little bit, don't get caught up wherever. Because the Lord will always just give you something in a dream, something He will give it to a brother to tell you. And you don't nobody tell you nothing. So you want to pick and choose how you want the Lord to give you messages. Because you is the shit. Alright? So the Lord must only talk to you directly. Anything the Lord had to instruct you on or correct you, He must do it directly. Nobody mustn't come and tell you nothing. People who think like that will be destroyed. You understand? Right. And you see, it say when they strove against the Lord, it say, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up together with Korah. When that company died, it say what time the fire devoured 250 men, and they became a sign. And that rebellion, since that they do, and they had to answer for it, was a sign unto everybody else in Israel to see and understand, hey, don't disrespect Moses. Don't disrespect Moses. And it's the same thing with the prophets. The Lord has sent the prophets onto the people, and they're supposed to listen to the prophet. But Israel, same thing, rebellious spirit. I don't have to listen to you. Who is you that I had to listen to you? And when they didn't hearken to the prophets, what used to happen? They used to be destroyed. You understand? So that show you how Israel had to obey the ones that over here. You know, I hope it was edifying. That's where I went to go through a few precepts to talk about it, because it's something you already had to use wisdom with. You understand? If you have an elder who just telling you to do all kind of wicked shit, and you understand, he ain't practicing with preaching, telling you to do all kind of stuff, even telling you to do stuff against the scriptures, well, alright. If you ain't listening to him, I could understand. You're using wisdom. But if the elder telling you to do right things, you understand, hearken on to him. You have to hearken on to him. Because he looking for your soul. That way scriptures talk about the elders that rule well is worthy of what? Double honors. I think that is I think that's 2 Timothy, 1 Timothy, 1 Timothy 5. Yes, 1 Timothy 5:17. It said, let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor. Why? Because them had to look out for you and the self. You know it is, you are 10 men under you, and you had to be behind them 10 men constantly, making sure they're doing what they're supposed to do, making sure they're on point. You're responsible for the edification, all these different things. That is a big responsibility. You gotta show that man respect. You understand? You can't want to be going. It come like if you are parents, and your parents grow you up until they get big, feed you everything, and then when you get up, you want to eat your father slap, kick your mother down. You understand? No, you gotta show them respect. It's the same thing, elders. You understand? Them is the ones that the Lord used to bring into the truth, and them is the one who does supply you with the knowledge that you have. And that's why you see the prophets, for the righteous people back then, they used to treat the prophets with utmost respect. For the righteous ones, not the ones who used to be killing prophets because they were correction, but the righteous ones used to show the prophets respect. Why? Because them is the ones who edifying them. Them is the ones who looking out for them. You understand? They come and bringing the gospel to them and trying to make sure to stay on track. You understand? Like I said, I hope it was edifying. Well, I'm reading finish scripture. It said, let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine. So if you're elder on point, listen to him. If you're elder awful, alright. If you're elder on point, listen to him. Because that means that the Lord working with him. You understand? Anyway, I hope it was edifying. Shalom Akim.